So followingly, we'd like to invite from Nokia, Head of Technology Marketing, Mobile Networks, Mr. Mike Smathers, under the title of Millimeter Steps Forward. So he will be joining us online. So please welcome Mr. Mike Smathers with a big round of applause. So Mike, the floor is yours.
Okay, so hello. Yes, my name is Mike Smathers. I'm based in Sydney. I'm honored and very excited to have this opportunity to join the conversation with you today. I have 12 slides in my presentation titled Millimeter Steps Forward, which is a bit of a play on words. It can, of course, mean very slow progress for millimeter wave, but it can also mean that millimeter wave is now stepping out of the background to provide capabilities and capacities that networks will need going forward. And perhaps both meanings are true. This slide captures 4 use case scenarios that can benefit and eventually necessitate the use of millimeter wave. The first of these is fixed wireless access. So fixed wireless access has become a big success in many parts of the world, mostly using centimeter wave to date. And we see that centimeter wave spectrum will become congested with fixed wireless access success, and millimeter wave capacity will be needed. Thus, millimeter wave can offer competitive performance versus other fiber to the home options, which amplifies the opportunity. And that performance will continue to improve with advancements in millimeter wave networks and CPE solutions. The second is hot capacity zones. Millimeter wave can be very effective in areas of heavy traffic, and adding it to an existing 5G centimeter wave grid can lift the area capacity towards tenfold. If there is sufficient millimeter wave device penetration and good network load balancing and mobility, this can improve the quality of experience, not only for millimeter wave device users, but also centimeter wave device users, since there is less congestion. And from a coverage point of view, it's been observed most recently by a USA Tier 1 CSP that you don't always need to have line of sight for acceptable millimeter wave coverage. The third area is emerging industry or local 5G. In countries that auction millimeter wave, even in the most expensive, which were the USA and Australia, the price of millimeter wave spectrum is still less than 8% of the global average price of C-band in terms of dollars per megahertz per population. There are also many examples where the regulator has set aside millimeter wave specifically for local 5G, such as Japan. So availability and cost make millimeter wave attractive for industry looking to leverage 5G in campus and industrial plant type situations. And the performance of millimeter wave, especially uplink throughput and low latency, are well suited to industrial KPI requirements. And lastly, some industries, they want to remain independent of CSPs, and standalone millimeter wave makes that possible. The final use case is sports stadiums and venues, such as airports, train stations, and theatres. These are locations with a high density of end users in a small area, and many of them have content to share. So extreme high capacity is needed, especially in the uplink for regular video uploading. The opportunity for CSPs is a lot larger than that, though, with emerging applications that can take advantage of millimeter wave's high speed and large capacity. And many attractive ideas are already being implemented. The other nice thing about stadiums is that a large part of the customer base will be line of sight. The proliferation of millimeter wave capable 5G devices is crucial to millimeter wave 5G success. This slide shows device stats that I've taken from multiple GSA 5G device ecosystem reports since February 2022. If we take a look at the left-hand side, it shows that 5G commercial devices have grown 125% over that time. However, the percentage of 5G devices supporting millimeter wave or frequency range 2 has actually shrunk. And this is because CSPs aren't building millimeter wave mobile networks, since they don't offload much traffic because there is little device penetration. Plus, they're challenged by how to actually monetize the high performance levels of millimeter wave. And since there are few supporting networks, then device manufacturers don't want to include millimeter wave capability in their mobile devices, since the additional cost can be quite high. And if millimeter wave is supported, then the additional cost means it's typically only included in high-end devices, and those don't have high penetration in many markets. So the question is, which comes first, millimeter wave networks or millimeter wave devices? And we can try to answer that question in this presentation. The graph on the right-hand side shows the amount of millimeter wave devices supporting specific and multiple bands. And it's clear that the USA bands N260, which is 39 gig, and N261, which is 28 gigahertz, are dominant and supported by a high percentage of shipped devices in the US market. And then this slide shows a snapshot of millimeter wave spectrum availability, either awarded or planned. Before C-band became available in the USA, millimeter wave in N260, N261 were key 5G bands for CSPs such as AT&T and Verizon. So those bands have gained some volume. There's also a firm footprint of 28 gigahertz in Southeast Asia. Outside of that, though, the most widely adopted national millimeter wave spectrum policy is on N258 or 26 gigahertz. So unfortunately, there is some millimeter wave spectrum fragmentation, which is driven for many reasons, but still it impacts device volumes and costs. And please allow me to mention a couple of recent market updates from Southeast Asia on this slide. So South Korea has recently awarded 28 gigahertz for a private wireless network industrial solution and to a new CSP, Stage X, who report that they will use the spectrum for hotspots and stadium type use cases. And then in Japan, as I'm sure you know, it was reported last October that MIC is considering auctioning 26 gigahertz and 40 gigahertz by March 2026. And at the same time, it was reported by MIC that millimeter wave was carrying only 0.2% of Japan's total 5G traffic volume. And that data is in the very excellent 5G MF, 5G enhancement for millimeter wave deployment white paper. So one way to encourage traffic onto millimeter wave would be with fixed wireless access. Fixed wireless access customers in general need 2 to 10 times more data than mobile users, and it can be more. In Australia and in the US, it's actually 20 times more. Fixed wireless access is a global success story that's growing across 195 networks in 85 countries. The USA has a customer base of approximately 10 million. And in highly developed Asian countries, such as Japan, there are several million fixed wireless access customers there also. In the main, as I mentioned, these fixed wireless access networks currently use centimeter wave, but we expect that they will gradually change to millimeter wave because of capacity challenges. And in an earlier slide, I showed the levels of millimeter wave capable devices. Well, 20% of those are fixed wireless access CPE. If we consider the case for using millimeter wave with fixed wireless access, when CSPs invest in mobile 5G using 100 megahertz of centimeter wave, they have a lot of cell capacity. So the graph on this slide on the left-hand side there is from a typical single-user MIMO network in Europe and shows resource loading versus cell capacity. And it demonstrates the point. The excess centimeter wave capacity can be and is often used for fixed wireless access. And fixed wireless access traffic in high demand countries can be 7 to 10 gigabytes per subscriber per day, or 1.8 gigabytes per subscriber in the busy hour. And that's growing. And in addition, of course, we have mobile traffic, which is growing 20 to 30% in general per year. So even though the spectral efficiency for fixed wireless access traffic can be a lot higher than for mobile traffic, 5G centimeter wave cells will become congested and alternate spectrum will be needed, such as millimeter wave. One of the key challenges for successful millimeter wave deployment is coverage. So the graph on the bottom left, just get my pointer. The bottom left here shows path loss over distance and compares 2 gigahertz to 28 gigahertz, so centimeter wave versus millimeter wave. 2 gigahertz, because many existing site grids and inter-site distances are based upon 1.8 gigahertz spectrum, so close. The graph highlights a 22 dB link budget challenge if a CSP wants to co-locate millimeter wave on their existing grid. And that's not the whole story, since millimeter wave is also subject to transient blocking from trees and hands. And that transient blocking is very, very nicely demonstrated in the top picture, which shows a 6 dB degradation in SINR as the signal is increasingly blocked as we move through the seasons and the vegetation gets thicker. And a third millimeter wave consideration is outside-in coverage, with building materials and especially modern energy efficient building materials introducing significant indoor penetration losses over 30 dB. Now, it's not all doom and gloom because there are increasing network and device solutions to address any challenges, of course, including beamforming and CPE technology, which we can take a look at. This slide captures a Nordic case study in millimeter wave fixed wireless access. It was over a 10 square kilometer area and 1,400 homes using co-located millimeter wave on an existing 1 kilometer site grid. In the slide on the left-hand side, a traditional coverage plot was done with no line of sight inhibiting coverage. And whilst the signal was found as far out as 1.9 kilometers, only 20% of outdoor locations achieved more than 100 megabits per second. So then a different approach was taken with a point coverage analysis. And in this case, any view of a building meant coverage since it allowed for an outdoor receiver for fixed wireless access. And then 39% of locations managed 1 gigabits per second or more. And from a 1 kilometer inter-site distance point of view, the wider results are presented here in the graph, with 65% of homes achieving at least 100 megabits per second. And so even in a high-cost Nordic country, this actually resulted in quite a profitable business case for fixed wireless access with millimeter wave. I've mentioned that advanced CPE technology will have an increasing impact on the success of millimeter wave fixed wireless access. 3GPP specifications play a role, with power class 1 able to go up to 55 dBm EIRP for fixed access. And outdoor receivers are expected to have a major market share, with a variety of solutions that are busting several myths about millimeter wave. The Nokia example on the left-hand side is from Australia, where NBN Co is using millimeter wave and a very high gain 30 dBi solution. And that's capable of delivering speeds beyond 2.5 gigabits per second to rural locations over distances greater than 6 kilometers. And then the Nokia example on the right-hand side is a millimeter wave high-gain outdoor receiver with a 360-degree field of view. And it includes a smart dynamic algorithm to select the best possible signal, which can be either an incident signal or a reflected signal. And this allows it to be easily set up by a customer and potentially avoid truck rolls. And it busts the myth that you always need line of sight for millimeter wave. One other millimeter wave use case I'd like to quickly touch upon is sports arenas and similar venues. And these can be quite challenging because of their dense mobile subscriber concentration, along with atypical traffic patterns, particularly in the uplink. In most instances, line of sight is reasonably well achievable, and the high capacity of millimeter wave is an ideal solution. There are many examples, and I've included the Sydney Cricket Ground on this slide. With 400 megahertz bandwidth, over 1 gigabits per second was recorded in most locations as this was planned out. And there are multiple new exciting applications that a high capacity solution such as millimeter wave 5G can support. These range from ordering food at your seat to crowd monitoring and control. Users can point their mobile phone and experience augmented reality statistics and information. And it can also be used to backhaul multiple high-definition cameras and then deliver 360-degree video experiences and even immersive video. And all of this is possible provided you have the capacity and with it the ability to provide the required quality of experience. I mentioned that advancements and upgrades to millimeter wave network technology are pushing ahead. So Nokia has radio units supporting multiple sectors and antenna extensions that can support 360-degree coverage or go around street corners with unique antenna configurations and customized beam sets. It also has high-power millimeter wave radios supporting extreme bandwidths. And then from an extended coverage point of view, it's assisted by large antenna arrays and beamforming technology. It's also important to support large cell signaling formats in order to reach extended cell ranges as far out as 11 kilometers. And then from a capacity point of view, capacity is assisted, of course, by intra-band carrier aggregation with 8 component carriers in the downlink and 4 component carriers in the uplink, along with different frame structures to address various uplink, downlink traffic ratios, and of course, higher order modulation schemes such as 256 QAM. And then finally, final technology area is the traffic management and network architectures. So with support, or offering support for 5G standalone and millimeter wave, and non-standalone with LTE and millimeter wave as the 5G lag. And that's actually a solution which has been deployed quite successfully in many stadiums. And lastly, load balancing and mobility capabilities to move as much traffic onto millimeter wave as quickly as possible and to keep it there. Okay, this is only a short session, but hopefully I've managed to address 3 things. The first is to answer the question, what comes first, the devices or the network? The answer could well be the fixed wireless access comes first, built on top of a mobile network, but once built, capable of supporting mobile millimeter wave, which then attracts mobile device inclusion. The second is to bust some millimeter wave myths. Millimeter wave doesn't always need line of sight. In fixed wireless access with CPE, but also in some cases with mobile. And millimeter wave range is not tens of meters, but in fact it can offer hundreds of megabits per second over many kilometers. And it's not just a dense urban hotspot solution, but has applications even in rural deployments. And the final point, 5G millimeter wave is the vehicle to deliver what 5G promised in terms of uplink and downlink capacity, speeds, and latency. And these enable many new applications that can help deliver national and business benefits. Thank you.
ありがとうございました。皆様大きな
Thank you very much. So please give him a big round of applause.
はい、ありがとうございます。
Thank you so much. So now without further ado, let us move on. Next, we'd like to invite Deputy Director, Digital Transformation Research Institute for Information Industry, Mr. Daniel Liu, will be talking about the development of 5G vertical application in Taiwan. So with that, please welcome Mr. Daniel Liu up onto the stage, please. The floor is yours, Daniel.
Good afternoon, everyone. I apologize for my voice being a little bit hoarse because I have a little bit cold. Please bear with me. Okay, I'm Daniel Liu, represent the Institute of Information Industry from Taiwan, and most people call us III. I'm glad to have an opportunity today to share this insight of Taiwan's 5G policy and strategy, as well as discuss some of the Taiwan's 5G vertical application case with you. As one of the major research institutes in Taiwan, we played a significant role in Taiwan's emergency as a key player in the global ICT industry, especially software and the information service. As a digital transformation enabler, III's mission is to foster innovation and the adoption of information communication technology in Taiwan. We are dedicated to supporting the growth of the digital economy through our initiative and promotion. Before today's presentation, I would like to highlight the private 5G in Taiwan equal to local 5G in Japan. Here's the outline of my presentation today. First of all, let's look at the Taiwan's private 5G policies. To start with, Taiwan private 5G commercialized has reached the mature stage, with Japan and Germany takes the lead. Taiwan launched the commercialization of private 5G network last year. The frequency band we currently operating in 4.8 to 4.9 gigahertz, which aligns with the sub-6 band available in Japan. As of the first quarter of 2024, more than 100 sites have applied the approval to deploy private 5G, including semiconductor factory, farm, stadium, theater, hotel, shopping mall, and more. As you can see, Taiwan's three major private 5G policies emphasize flexibility, openness, and simplicity. In terms of flexibility, they facilitate integration with other network access options and allowed for the selection of the preferred frequency usage rate. They also promote openness for the interconnection of similar purpose. Additionally, they simplify base station and the network verification procedures, and for experimental and short-term applications, no verification is needed. Before we talk about the application, I would like to share some interesting factors. Private 5G plays an important role across various vertical domains in Taiwan. With the top three in 2023, they are smart factory, smart export, and the labs. This domain plays significant roles in supporting traditional industry, boosting advantaged sectors, and promoting public welfare. Now, let's shift our focus to some challenges we encountered during the process. Since Taiwan began accepting application for private 5G, we are identifying ongoing challenges, the need to be addressed regarding the development of its application and service. First, high initial cost pose a significant barrier, especially of small and medium enterprise, which make up 98% of Taiwan's enterprise. Limited budget and a shortage of professional staff are the major problem to adapting private 5G. Secondly, there's need enhanced connectivity of equipment, particularly in domain like a smart factory. Third, while the importance and the potential of big data are widely acknowledged, many enterprises struggle to evaluate the added value of the data collection and also underestimate the benefit of private 5G. Last, the vertical industry requires software and the IT service, yet some lack automation, software, and the IT capability, making it challenging for them to assess the cost, benefit, and the operation of private 5G network independently. But we still developed private 5G because we saw some very charming opportunity. Although there are many challenges, we do see unlimited business opportunity in the future of private 5G. It's clear that software and IT service will be important in shaping mobile broadband private network. By 2030, the global market for private 5G core network and the related IT service is expected to exceed 60 billion. With every industry have its unique private 5G requirements, Taiwan has seen a surge in private 5G applications, reaching more than 100 cases of last quarter since last June. We found telecom, IT service, and the cable TV communication, cable TV companies have transferred into 5G system integrators. Activities supporting vertical industry in introduce and expanding various 5G applications. As for this challenge that comes with business opportunity, we also believe that more software and information service related private 5G will be the key to overcoming them. Next, let's turn to Taiwan's private 5G strategy and actions. In order to advance 5G software and applications, the Administration for Digital Industry, we also call it ADI, on the Ministry of Digital Affairs, we call it MODA, like everyone's engine of DX. The governing agency overseeing private 5G in Taiwan has mapped out the strategy focusing on three key aspects for their development. Taiwan's private 5G strategy focuses on the fostering digital innovation and encouraging cross-domain collaboration to develop commercial private 5G solution. At first, the robust digital foundation is being established with the creation of the dedicated office offering one-stop service for private 5G network application and development. In addition, there's a push of collaboration with industrial association to stimulate investment in developing private 5G applications across industry, thus driving the digital transformation of the wide sectors. Furthermore, ADI has also activity activity promote the development of innovate 5G application cases through cross-ministerial cooperation, particularly in benchmark state-owned venues such as theater, cultural and creative parks, exhibition hall, and more. For public convenience, the Taiwan government has merged promotion, consulting, and even radio wave compliance inspection into the new body. We call him Private 5G Promotion Office. It functions as a hub for private 5G promotions, serve as an information platform. Overall application consulting and conduct verification, even review the processing, make it more convenient for enterprise to apply for private network. Secondly, the government works closely with industrial associations to formulate blueprint for various industrial to develop private 5G applications. For an industrial perspective, we promote industrial digital transformation through cooperation closely with industrial associations to co-draft private 5G application blueprint, inspiring greater imagination for application and the service. Additionally, we speed up the industrial digital transformation with a private 5G by showcase benchmark use case across high-end manufacturing, traditional industrial, and the business service. At the same time, the MODA is also collaborating with various government agencies in Taiwan to develop more innovative 5G application service, allowed all walks of life to have opportunity to learn from each other. In fact, cross-ministerial cooperation drives digital innovate with 5G, and its application can extend to various scenarios. For example, 5G millimeter wave cyber physical remote performance are facilitated with the support from the we call him Ministry of Culture and MODA. We also use the portable, easy developed private 5G network and realized through 5G mobile broadcasting vehicle during a well-known culture like Maju worship. Maju is a revered goddess in Chinese folk religion. And worship just like the festival in Japan or the local temple. Moreover, 5G millimeter wave immersive interactive exhibition host the national exhibition health facilitated by cooperation between the Ministry of Economic Affairs. We call him MOEA and MODA, just to name a few. For instance, MODA cooperates with MOEA to transfer Taiwan's National Exhibition Hall into the cutting-edge 5 venue. National Exhibition Hall can serve as an example of how a venue can be transferred into a platform, where attendants can interact with various scenarios simply by scanning a QR code. Real-time open data, such as the weather and the traffic information, simply enhance the experience. Artwork and the virtual module island. This module means a small island located in northwest of Taiwan can be integrated and showcase the global tourist, offering an immersive and dynamic experience. To begin with, our object is to extend the range of 5G applications service across various industrials through cooperation and specialized 5G service and software solutions. This collaboration effect will enhance the commercialization of private 5G application service. With that being said, ADI collaboration with industrial organization in Taiwan, this partnership not only facilitates ongoing development across various industrial, but also encourage Taiwan's information service company provide the graduate they come up with a different service model tailored to the device needed of this industrial. Innovate private 5G software systems like shared code, network, and the multi-domain network management system play an important role in creating network leasing service model. This effective reduce barrier to adopt private 5G network, leading the real benefit for digital transformation across various industrial. Taking a close look, high-end manufacturers in Taiwan, such as AI PC manufacturer, amongst others, are improving production efficiency and cutting labor cost through the establishment of the smart factory. At the same time, they are incorporating 5G smart factory applications such as digital twins and intelligent inspections to innovate new business model and explore opportunities for exporting factory overseas. From the perspective of traditional industrial, such as food processing or metal processing, productivity is enhanced by implementing intelligent systems. This facilitate monitoring of production capacity and reduce task handover and communication times. And business service in Taiwan, like exhibition hall, cultural event, or retail hotel, employ private 5G networks to enable premium immersive application, enhance customer service to cultivate consumers' loyalty. Additionally, by integrating digitally with the physical space, they can create innovate business model for the experience economy. In the digital economy area, integrating private 5G and the digital technology into culture festival not only enhance Taiwan's festival culture and strengths, its tourism industrial making, but also tap into the potential of digital software application to develop new business model and create experience market opportunities. We induce portable and use-friendly private 5G network seamless integrate with local traditional and festival, like 5G Tonghua, Tong Browser Festival, or the 2024 Taiwan Lantern Festival. This initiative integrates advanced application into everyday lives, enriching cultural experience with the digital connective. To sum up, private 5G facilitate local cross-domain collaboration, speed up the field digital transformation, and leverage private 5G software technology alongside software and hardware integrations. Last but not least, I would like to focus space on the integration of software and hardware here. The rapid expansion of private 5G will be driven by integrated service, shifting for close to open network from public to provide network in industrial applications, and from hardware to software's value-added service. Okay. Thank you all for your attention. Thank you.
はい、ありがとうございました。皆様大きな拍手を。
Thank you very much. Please give a warm round of applause to Mr. Daniel Wu. Thank you very much. So next, I would like to invite from NHK Enterprise Inc. Corporate Officer, Innovation Strategy, Mr. Tetsuya Fukuhara. He will be speaking under the title of Free from Cables, 5G for the Entertainment. So please invite Mr. Fukuhara with a warm round of applause. So please, Mr. Fukuhara. Thank you for the kind introduction. My name is Fukuhara, and thank you very much for coming to my presentation. So this will be the last presentation that we'll be offering you for the session. A lot of information, abundance of information I'm sure you'll be taking back home. But from the user perspective, being a producer, I would like to speak from that perspective. So it's the last presentation, so I hope you relax and enjoy my presentation. Well, in terms of behind the scene, some of you may have gone to the behind the scene of entertainment. So behind the scene entertainment, I would like to share with you some of the actual stories. That's what's happening behind the scene. So about me, who I am. So I am being a producer. I am slightly different genre from all the other members who have spoke today. So I'm now working at NHK Enterprise as in charge of innovation strategy. Business development and contents development is the area of my jurisdiction. So originally, a TV program, especially documentary. I was a director of a documentary program on the TV station. And as you can see in the photo, the video or image, 8K and high resolution, utilizing state-of-the-art technology. I wanted to offer and develop a content that where you'll be able to experience these contents altogether. So therefore, the local 5G, utilizing local 5G, how are you going to augment the entertainment world from the production perspective is something that I would like to share with you. So there are some use cases that I would like to show. The advancement of course, the production of entertainment, how the radio, local 5G could be utilized. So this is, of course, something that you may have heard already in the presentation, and this is something that you already know, the local 5G inclusive of video. It has been utilized in various domains and fields. So we, being a producer for entertainment, being a producer, the local 5G, we would like to consider and tap into the potential of utilizing in the entertainment. In the case study already, the Super Bowl, NFL, the stadium utilization was already introduced. And Mr. Daniel Wu also have talked about broadcast production, how this 5G is being utilized. And we, for our part, it's in the area of entertainment. We would like to we have conducted a trial in entertainment. This is based on the POC framework of MIC, and this is the image. The camera, in terms of the camera on the spot, the field, it's a cable everywhere. The audio cable from behind and video cable also are extended. And this is, let's say, income and microphone, and everything's be connected by It's a sprawl of cables. And one episode is that in terms of when I was a new grad, you go to the live streaming on the site, and with the technicians, you undergo a preview before the actual launch. So you confirm where you are going to lay the cables. It takes about 1 day to, especially stadium, is a hard work because it's wide and broad, and concert, it's also hard where you lay the cable. So 10 cameras where you position them, and at that time you need to think about the traffic of the customers and what is a cable that is not hinder the traffic of the audience. Is it on the floor? Is it from the ceiling? You need to do preparation. And at the same time, so we do the setup, we go to the site, and then with the technical staff, everyone there, we are going to lay out the cables. So again, a lot of people, a lot of time being spent on the cabling work. So I was a director, so this time, of course, everything have to be included in the whole production time. It's quite time consuming. After conclusion, you need to bring back the table, confiscate the table. So from creativity perspective, it's better to do without these time being spent. So the production staff, directors, we can focus on the content rather than cabling. So this has been really a broadcasting world, the live streaming, the staff. It was a pain point and the issue for long duration of time. So local 5G, we can try this out. And then through POC, we conducted the proof of concept test, and the past cable, when it's gone, how much will we be able to augment the actual production is the first case. So entertainment, free from cables, for future video direction, for reduction of production costs. So as I just said, the cables is gone. How much cost is it going to be reduced? Or video sort of a production cost, something new. How much can you do in the area of something that has not been able to be spent in the past? So the venue is a concert hall. It's a place called Line Cube in Shibuya. Inside the Line Cube, in the hall, the 5G core and antenna are being deployed. And at the time of experiment, there are 5 cameras. So 1 camera each. So 10 cameras altogether. So we tested how much maximum camera 4K, and we also had how much we can utilize for camera for high resolution for 4K as well. And this entertainment and the user experience, utilizing downlink. So many people will access them, and various shot will be taken from various direction. But what we have done is system-wise, it's uplink, all uplink. So the cameraman, in terms of the production team, on the wireless, can we upload to the switchers? So then, in the past, it was cable everywhere, and now without the cable, what would happen is this case. So, for instance, this could be something enabled without the cable. So it's radio control camera. So it's a company called Agito. It's a camera car, and it's unmanned. So beneath the stage, it has a mobility to go everywhere. So without the cable, this is something enabled. If there is a cable, it does not help the automatic camera movement. And this is having a rail in the seating, the viewers, and this is radio controlled for the mobility of this camera. Again, this is cable-less. So this video, and also this is the rope camera. The rope, it's not a camera cable. It's a cable to mobilize the camera, so it's not a video shooting camera. So with a cable, it's impossible to set up a camera in those locations. We're not going to get any approval, but we have set up the camera on these high area, and the other is the situation of the stage. On stage, in this box, in the center, there's a camera person in the center of the square box. maybe you can now see. It's a steady cam, a Trinity camera. And then it's a dancer's performance have performed. And there are a lot of dance units recently. So then the dancers, one person can go into the dancers because there's no cable. In the past, there were cable attached to it. So there's somebody to help to work out the cable. So it's always a pair, and somebody taking care of the camera and the cable. So then you cannot really immerse yourself or submerge yourself in the dancers, but so you don't get the dynamic movement of the dancers. I'm not now running out of time, so I'll be quick on this. But this is fortunately the video I have, but I cannot show you today. So this is the stage, multi-streaming, multi-switching, and we have this first case of live streaming. And in terms of this VOC, the latency at 200 millisec, and bit rate uplink is 10 megabps. So for us in a high vision broadcasting, the service offering is within the tolerance range. So technically, that has been guaranteed through the POC testing. And we conducted an interview for those people who are there, and we conducted a survey as well. And in terms of not the people from the production team, but the people from the venue, having this capability in the venue, this could be added value in selecting the venue. And also the producer, there's a high range of opportunity to produce the visual in a different manner. So this is the questionnaire survey.
So how we are going to make those performance direction refreshed or renewed? Well, people started to use drones, but maybe we can use this for drone application. And also, since we get closer to the performers, so you can offer the experience where you actually are standing in the center of the stage. Even dancers can shoot the camera. So yes, there are a lot of different ideas for the performance itself. So there's a huge potential to expand the performance. So that is exactly what we felt. The next case is a second stage experiment, and this is creating new content. And what is this? So this is not really a venue, but this is a NHK Enterprise managing in Tsukuba Mirai City. This is a Warp Station Edo. So this is an open door set. So Ida 10 or other TV drama on NHK. And recently it's used for commercials as well as for the film or movie. So it's an open door set to represent the Edo period or Meiji Taisho periods. We do have this set. And what did we do? This is a 2.5 dimensional musical. This is Nintama Rantaro musical. And this is throughout the year. Every year we actually perform this musical. And usually it is on stage. And we were bringing this to outdoor stage. So can we create the contents outdoor? Well, in New York, immersive theater, Sleep No More. Maybe some of you have heard about that. Well, it doesn't have to be in the theater, but you can actually bring those contents outside, outdoor. So let's create, using local 5Z, maybe we can actually create the contents on outdoor. In terms of the system, since the area is huge, so yes, performers can actually go everywhere. And this is using 5G core and DAS. So distributed antenna is used to build the area, and then performers can actually go at different locations to be covered. And also, what we did not do at the Shibuya Line Cube on the first trial, this Shibuya Line Cube, we were just bringing those video to go through the uplink. But here, we are trying to make it more practical. So what happens to the camera is video and also income and tally and also audio. There are a lot of different information to go to the switcher. So as you see on the camera side, we have to have return, tally, and CPE for the purpose of the trial and experiment. So this type of consolidated or integrated device, there's no device which is usable. So we try to show that using local 5G and millimeter wave, maybe if we can develop this kind of system, it can be quite useful and helpful for this video production or contents production area. So maybe this could be a bit challenge. Well, what's going to happen to this? Well, this is what we implemented, and once again, this is a return. And yes, you can actually see what kind of a video is being shot, and also using income, or you can actually go move right or left, and you can get the instructions from the camera person or maybe the director. It can be 5G network. And this is a performance. The base is on the vehicle, and the one on the right is the video coming through the switcher. So since there's no cable, if we have the cable, then behind the camera, cable is all connected. And where the performer is going to is limited if you have cables. But as you see, there's no cable. So that's why the performers can go anywhere. There's no limitations of the cables. So there are two areas. There are two zones, Zone A and Zone B. And when it comes to the contents, using radio network at different locations, you can use the multiple cameras to bring it to the switchers. So maybe we have two cameras in Zone A and two cameras in Zone B, and at the same time, they are actually making the progress. And also, it can be streamed live. So that means Zone A story can be created and Zone B story can be produced. And we are doing it at the same time. That's also possible. So it's a live streamed. Story A and Story B. And then, yes, we brought the fans at that venue, so you can actually see in front of themselves that they can actually see the performance. So this is event content. Maybe at later stage, well, yes, on the smartphone of the fans, you can actually zoom in. So users have a great experience using local 5G. And also as archive, this is what we call as a director's cut. So it can be a kind of finalized version to produce the package. So this is an experiment. So we were not selling this package, but maybe in the future, it is possible to sell this as a package. So this is my sort of the last part. Well, yes, maybe the performance side is thinking about how we can best leverage this network. Sports live is one, drama production is another, and also studio production is another application, and also event production we can think about. And also lastly, this has not started, but maybe we want to try out this. So at this kind of event venue, we have a lot of booth and they do the demonstration. Well, this is at Inter B venue, and this is our booth at Inter B exhibition. So we can have the multiple LEDs, and behind the scene, we have the area server which can render those images at the same time to really show the products demonstration. If I may, I have time. Now I think video is up. Well, so here we can actually place a lot of different videos, and also when we make the presentation, we put the camera, and using multiple camera, we can actually have those video shooting in the public viewing venue. Well, maybe within this kind of a small scale theater or the venue, yes, we have a live camera, maybe one camera. And yes, maybe we can have a new performance, new directions of the different performances at the venue. And there are a lot of different booths, and I think stability of the radio wave is really required. So maybe we want to try out something like this. Thank you. That's all from my side. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much once again. Thank you.